Welcome everyone to another podcast. And once again, my co-host is Julie. How are you, Julie?
Ryan, Steven, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So today we'll talk about something very unique, and you're gonna come away very excited about this investing. So we can go over this. Let me share my screen. And today's headline title will be quote unquote boots on the ground. Boots.
Mm.
There's another definition for boots. Okay, on the ground. The U.S. government will help you to get rich. Your potential tenant could be Section 8 tenant on steroid. For those of you who don't know what is a Section 8 tenant, those tenants are they receive government voucher to rent your property, and the government will pay the monthly check
Mhm.
to you as a landlord, but you can have a higher level than a Section 8 tenant. Let's take a deep dive. If some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but here it is. Dude, housing markets near military installations are robust. But which one? There are many, but today we can talk about one such area, one such market. And this is in Lawton,
Mm.
Oklahoma, which is right outside U.S. Army Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Nice.
It's an emerging market, but here it is, U.S.
Mhm.
Fort Sill, and it's a robust basic training facility, by the way, for the Army recruits come here and train for 2 months. Uh,
Mhm.
and also, of course, there are other population as well. They are located here in Lawton, Oklahoma. But this is the main driver, and U.S. Army Force SIM could be around forever because they are very robust, very important mission,
Mhm.
essential military installation. Why? I think because our uncle was in the U.S. Army for a whopping 2 decades.
Wow.
I'm
Mm.
happy to retire back in 2002, and I'm receiving my regular military pension and great medical benefits for the rest of my life and my spouse also. Yeah, so this picture, as you can tell, is a very long time ago. I would say this is back in 1980s, okay?
Wow.
Many of you,
Wow.
or not me, but people watching, you have
Some
not
people weren't even born. I was.
born, okay? I was a finance clerk. I help soldiers change station. They come in to my station, and I have to process their payroll. I help. This is such a coincidence, okay? And this podcast such a coincidence to as it relates to my military background because when I was a finance clerk,
Yes.
70 Charlie finance specialist, I help when a soldier and his or her family they come to assigned to this new duty station, I help them find off-post housing.
Really? Oh, how funny. Wow.
And
Wow. That's interesting.
yeah, that's right. Because on post, there's not enough housing accommodations for all the soldiers out there. That's part of my job as a finance clerk to pay them travel, pay them their paycheck, and help them to accommodate off-post housing accommodations. Which is back in those days, I had no clue that there's a correlation. they'll,
Mhm.
they'll run related to this video podcast. Okay, so we have properties located in U.S. Army Fort Sill, Lawton, Oklahoma. By the way, that's I'm promoting this market, by the way.
Really unbelievable. Talk about full circle.
Yes, that's a good word, full circle.
Yeah.
Now, think about it, right? As an investor, if you buy a rental property in this particular market, 3% of all the renters are active duty soldiers.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and they are married. You have sergeant, staff sergeant, E5, E6. I was an E5 sergeant back in those days. At that time, midway through my military career, I advanced the enlisted ranks like most people after 20
Right.
years. But anyway, the typical renters out there, yes, they are enlisted E5, E6, sergeant, staff sergeant with 3 to 5 years of service with one or two dependents, maybe a spouse, and maybe one child, a young child in two, right? So every location, the government, the U.S. government, and the military, they have a basic allowance for housing, right?
Mhm.
Each location is based on the cost of living. So in Lawton, Oklahoma, it's a low cost of living area. So the military housing allowance for someone in this category, they get tax-free allowance anywhere from $1,149 to $1,392.
Wow. Nice.
Based on the chart, based on the BAH chart that
Right.
I downloaded for 2024. And
Mhm.
if I after doing soldiers or stationed in San Diego, for example, their basic allowance for housing is probably $2,000, right?
Yeah. California. Yeah. A big
So,
difference.
yeah. So
Right.
anyway, so their regular paychecks are not affected. Okay. Why?
Mhm.
Because this is a tax-free allowance that they get.
Right. Nice.
You know, yeah, their paychecks, military paychecks they normally get are not affected.
Wow.
In essence, the government had a almost guaranteed paycheck. It's never guaranteed. Soldier, when they move into a new duty station, especially if they are married, they typically stay a duration of each military installation 3 years or sometimes more if they decide to extend their enlistment. So think
Okay.
about it. Look, Julie, especially a lot of newbie investors, the biggest fear they have is having the property vacant, right?
Mhm.
Have their property vacant, or when they have to fix the property, have to incur additional costs of maintaining the property. That's not a good thing, right? That'll cause you to make that investment not very good, right? In this unique situation, right? Imagine the best case scenario. If you're able to rent out your rental property to somebody at least 3 years per person, what if in the next 10 years of holding this brand new construction property
Right.
you purchased in Lawton,
Right.
Oklahoma?
Mhm.
If each renter stay at least 3 years, in the next 10 years, that one property have a total of 3 tenants. What the value of that?
And they're very high quality tenants too. If you think about military, you have to be very disciplined, so they're not going to tear up your property. Or if they have families, the same thing. Yeah, it's a real high quality tenant, and only 3 tenants over the next 10 years.
Yeah,
That's great. That's a great deal.
yeah, Julie. To your point, military makes the best tenant. Why? Because
Mhm.
they subject to UCMJ. You know what UCMJ stands for?
No, I don't.
Uniform Code of Military Justice. You know what the word GI stands for?
I actually do not know. Only thing is, it was a toy my brother had when we were little, but I have no idea what a GI Joe is.
I watch military movies all throughout my lifetime, ever since I was young. I keep hearing the word GI Joe, GI Joe. There's a funny acronym, but the word GI stands for government issue.
Okay, I had no idea. Because that was a very popular toy when we were kids. It was a little doll, actually.
Exactly. And so what does mean government issue? Because when you're actively a soldier, you sign the government contract. You belong
You belong to the government. Wow.
24/7, 365.
Okay.
If you screwed up on duty or off duty, if you do not pay your rent on time, why? Why would somebody not? Why would the
Yeah.
duty soldier not pay the rent on time? Because they have tax-free allowance guaranteed.
Exactly.
And
Mhm.
look, of course, there are some small percentage of those tenants. They're gonna screw up no matter what. They don't care about the military career. They screw up. No, they're gonna
We
get
love people.
out of service, right? Whatever. If they screw up really badly, they gonna get punished. They may even go to jail if they commit a serious crime. They can go to the military prison in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I do know what that is. I
Yeah,
heard about Fort Leavenworth.
yeah. Think about it, okay? I want you to keep this in mind. Most soldiers are very law abiding. They follow the rules. Look, if a soldier doesn't pay their rent on time or whatever, or that they miss any rent, you as a landlord or the property manager on your behalf can go to the commander of that soldier and report this situation. And things will get rectified very quickly to resolve that issue, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
They are ideal tenants.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to say they could be 100% guaranteed, but
Right, of course, because people are people.
yeah, that's why some soldiers will screw up and they don't care if they kicked out army for whatever reason. human behavior, nobody's perfect. They all screwed up. But you can almost pretty much, you can make the argument that you're getting a guaranteed U.S. government paycheck, just like a
Right.
Section 8 person. So we may not know what Section 8 means, but that's another topic. Anyway, it's a rolling admission plan. Soldiers, when they move into Fort Sill, they get a permanent chamber station. We call it PCS. So they stay, if they're a single soldier, they stay maybe 2 years. Okay.
Mhm.
If they are married, they usually stay at least 3 years at each duty station. So you
Right.
will recycle among their families, right? And some even extend beyond 3 years. When as a landlord, you keep somebody, like one tenant staying for 3 years or more. How cool is that?
Exactly. Exactly.
First of all, by the way, Richard Advani is the coordinator. He created this market for us. Richard Advani.
Really? Oh, okay. I did not know that. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's the go-to realtor. So anybody want to buy this property, in this location, of course they can sell.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they go to Richard Advani to do the order transactions, and it's all turnkey, one-stop shop, everything. But so Richard Advani, he knows this market very well. He has
Right.
invested in Oklahoma for the past decade, and so he's entering Lawton, Oklahoma, for a good reason, and I trust him. He has the whole team in place, the
Nice.
whole 9 yards, typical what we do, right? Our system. But yeah, and furthermore, and this is one more thing. The property manager at this location, our property manager will coordinate with the Fort Sill housing provider.
Nice.
This could have been me had I been active duty.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Isn't that
Wow.
so cool? Yeah. If I'm, of course, if I was in active duty, I am the Fort Sill housing provider. And I've been
Right.
section in Fort Sill for endless supply of military tenants. Okay.
That's a dream come true.
Yeah, it is. So yeah. I know
Right.
what's going on. I know military. I know the market. Not just for sale, not in Oklahoma. Any robust market where there's a military installation as an anchor, was an Army, Navy, Marine, or Coast Guard. Those housing markets are very robust. Could be
Right.
San Diego, that could be in Virginia, could be somewhere in Florida, a lot of places in Texas. There's a lot of major military installations located in this
Right.
area. And this
Right.
market is very robust. Okay, that's information for another podcast. Let's stick with Lawton, Oklahoma for sale. So this is my MOS, military occupation specialty, 17 Charlie, finance clerk. So I do all that. So I could, obviously, I can relate.
Yes.
So that's why I have a passion for this.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have a passion for this product because I know
Sure.
everything about it. I know how the military works, and this is a very safe market to invest in, especially for those newbies.
Right.
Those newbie investors that are scared of everything. What if I can minimize your fear by finding in a market where a lot of the renters are military, so you have a very low risk investment, great tenant. So as a result, Julie, at the beginning of this video, I talk about quote unquote boots. The normal boots on the ground, normal definition boots on the ground, you have all the team in place on the ground. But we have the real boots, the army boots.
Yeah, literally. A little double entendre there.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
So that makes your investment almost 100% passive.
I love it. I love it. You can't get much better than that.
You can't much, and everything's turnkey on long distance and property management.
Very nice.
You do nothing almost,
Right.
except collecting the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more. Way there's more, and this is a pro forma. Again, I'm not going to go over too much because of
Right.
other previous videos
nice.
in this particular market. But all these numbers look really good. You put
Very good.
only 20% down, only 30 grand down on this brand new single family home construction in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Nice.
If you rent to look, 30% of the renters are military. There are other renters, right? There are other infrastructure, economic engine other than Fort Sill. But Fort Sill is a major employer. You have other industry there in Lawton. Okay, it's about economy. Furthermore, Lawton, Oklahoma is like 3.5 hours north of Dallas. Okay. And Lawton, Oklahoma is an hour and a half southwest of Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
And Lawton, Oklahoma is like 1 hour from the Texas border, the northern Texas border. So it's located in that neck of the region of the US where the 100-mile radius or 150-mile radius, there's a lot of economic engine, a lot of metros that are within this region. So that makes
Okay.
small town of Lawton, Oklahoma, which have 100,000 people in
Right.
Oklahoma. It's not really rural. It's low cost of living, entry level home prices. You're not going to find any new construction home for $150K anywhere in the country. I'll save you the trouble of wasting
Right.
time in your own research.
Look,
Don't waste your time.
that's a great deal.
It's a great deal.
That is a great deal.
Most nationwide builders in the US, they own their definition of entry level new construction homes. Entry level means $450K and above.
Wow.
That's a typical entry level new construction by the major builders. Not this builder that we are connected with. This builder have their resources. They know the local area. They have the economic means to build this smaller new construction for our investors. So you can invest long term in very little maintenance, very little vacancy. So you can become very good long term investor and take advantage of all that. And of course, we have duplex, same builder in Lawton, 320K duplex. I mean, in California, you can buy a garage for $320,000.
This is true. You're absolutely right. You're right about that.
So new construction duplex, same builder, 320K, both sides for 2,600, 25% down payment, out of pocket 88 grand. You have a very good monthly cash flow of 624. So these are the two products available, even with a high mortgage rate of 6.73%. As we talk about, you dig the rate, you marry property. You can always refinance for low. The key is get the deal. If it is a good deal, if it's cash flow right now, you buy it, right? And then, of course, you and I use property tracker software and other realistic software out there. I encourage all the investors out there to use the right kind of software so you can track year by year of increases of your property performance, return on investment. So I'm not going to go over line by line item, but I use a very conservative 3% annual rent growth. I'm going to use a very conservative 3% annual appreciation growth, which is extremely conservative. So the annual gross rent, this is just a projection, okay? This is just pro forma. No one get the future. This is just a mathematical projection. It's all math. Annual gross rent is for the first year is $15,600, which is equate to $1,300 rent, right? Year 10, the annual projected rent is $20,354. At the end of the day, I'll make it simple for you guys. At 3% rental rate increase at year 10, today's projected gross rent is $1,300 for the single family home product increases to at least $1,700 at 3% rental rate increase year. So from $1,300 to $1,700, if nothing else changes, today's monthly net cash flow on the single family home product, monthly cash flow of $239, and year 10, only 3% rental rate increase. Year 10 is $549. Then we can look at the today's market value for that single family product, $150K. Then 10 year into it, at only 3% appreciation projection. Historically speaking, the annual historical real estate appreciation is 3 to 5%. So I'm conservative. Real estate investors is a long-term game. Year over year, even at 3% appreciation growth, you can see the increasing value of this particular property. Your tenant could pay down
to pay down the loan.
So the loan balance, which continued to decrease from 118K loan balance today to 102, see your equity. So your market value minus loan balance year over year, your equity could be increased. Some year it may not increase. We get that. It's not a straight line appreciation.
But again, I think you said earlier, you did a 3% average annual increase. And that is very conservative. And I would imagine in most parts of the country, you will probably receive a lot more in market value than the 3%. But but those are still great numbers at 3%.
Absolutely.
You know, cash out after 10 years and get $100,000.
Yeah. So the idea was you have to look at the 10-year projection because look, risk investing to build wealth is at least a 10-year journey. So
Right.
can you look at the increasing equity, right, on this property? Then the computer will calculate your loan to value, LTV ratio. The less ratio you have, as you can see, the more
Right.
equity you have, the more equity you have.
Yes.
Potentially, at some point in time in year 4, year 5, year 6, depending on the depreciation situation
Right.
in any given year. So the computer calculates you could potentially cash out refinance, tax-free loan, cash out refinance,
Right.
whatever you have at any given time, this kind of money.
Yes.
Use the money to buy more properties. That's
Exactly.
how you scale your portfolio. Okay? Keep that in mind when you catch up refinance, whatever amount your and whatever interest rate at that time. So
Right.
a higher payment on your existing rental property. So your cash flow will be adjusted probably lower than your normal cash flow having
Right. Right.
refinance. But do the number. So what if your by taking the cash flow refinance tax-free loan, that is, you have to pay a higher mortgage on the existing rental property. So your cash flow may not be that high, but
Right.
the value is you got yourself at least another one property
Yes.
for the down payment to buy another house. That's how you create wealth, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
You just scaling your portfolio is a domino effect. But again, you have to go through the slow grind, the challenges,
Yeah.
the stress of going through potential vacancies, maintenance issue, whatever. So the first 5 years of your risk investing career is not a walk in the park. Okay, I can tell you right there. A lot of people, they disqualify themselves. A lot of investors, they can't take the stress. They give up and they sell the property too early. They're not
Yes.
allowing time to invest over time. So they don't have the right mindset. So that's too bad. So this mathematical format, which I just did, use the proper software. We use property tracker, but you can use a rental software similar to what we discussed on any property. So we just give you a mathematical blueprint how you calculate current year return, second year return, 5-year return, 10-year return. That's you have to look at the big mathematical picture, 5 to 10-year timeline. That's how you reap the benefit of your work.
That's so good that your audience understands that because, like you said, most people, they get out too soon. It doesn't work in 2 years, whatever. And then they leave a lot of money on the table because they got afraid and decided to bail out. So I love that you showed that the longer you hold it, the more beneficial it's going to be for you to keep the property.
Yeah. Look, Julie, here's the point. A very small percentage of investors, they take action. Okay. My network and my database is no different. It is what it is. I can't lead a horse to the well and force him.
Right. You can't force him to drink. You can lead him, but you can't force him to drink. Yeah.
So let's say not only my network of investors, 1,000, whatever. If you take a sample of 1,000 investors or 10,000 investors in a particular group, at the end of the day, for whatever reason, so many investors, they disqualify themselves, right? With their limited belief for 1,000 excuses they have, they don't do it. So let's say 1% do it. Out of 1,000 investors, 1% take action and buy at least one rental property. Look, I've been doing this for a very long time, more than 20 years. So therefore, I've been doing this longer than any other of those alleged real estate gurus out there. Okay? Alleged, sometimes fake real estate gurus out there. Or bombarding people with all the get rich quick schemes, and people, especially the newbie investors, go to those type of network and they will get creamed. They will get scammed. Okay? Not all, but more than you care to think. Getting back, even, okay, again, I track my investors, right? Human behavior is so predictable to me, so predictable. I know exactly what's going on with them. So 1% out of 1,000 investors buy at least one property, maybe two over the next few years. one or two rented properties, and based on my tracking of many decades of tracking investors, not just my investors, other investors too, after 3 or 4 years, for whatever reason, those investors that purchased one or two properties, they quit. What does it mean by they quit? They can't take the stress. For whatever reason, even use a turnkey investment where they do very little work, they still can't do it. So they quit, they sell the property, or they don't sell the property, and then that's all they bought, one or two properties.
Yeah.
Their real estate investing journey is over.
Wow.
And then the remaining, the people that stay invested, keep the property 5, 10, 15 years, they are even fewer.
Interesting.
The funnel is like this, right?
Right.
You have a lot of potential investors, right? People on the sideline, people like kicking tires, right?
Kicking the tires, yeah, I like that.
People, analysis paralysis, they come to my network, they watch my videos after a few years, they still won't buy it. They keep on kicking tires, they will never buy. They're waiting for the right time. The right time will never come, so they will stay on the lines for the rest of their lives, whatever. So it's a funnel, okay? The few that buy, a small percentage that buy, they only last one or two property, a couple of years, then it's over for them. So the remaining very few, even much less than 1%, they stay the long course. They have the mindset which you and I do. Therefore, they reap the benefit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Invest for long term, 10, 15, 20 years. It's a long grind. It's not an immediate gratification, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to live below your means. You have to manage your money well. You have to organize your finances. You have to show daily discipline. You have to watch videos, watch my real estate videos every single day because I put them out there. Take 30 minutes to watch my videos. What's about that?
Right.
You spend time in the bathroom.
More than 30 minutes, right?
Time to
video with you.
Yeah, you have time to watch my videos, for God's sake. Don't give me no freaking excuses.
We make time for what's important to us.
Exactly. So my takeaway for this video is, look, you don't have to buy a property close to military installation. In this podcast is an icing on a cake. You're getting a very good investment market, very good property anyway. On top of it, the icing on the cake is the even better tenants. If you can the property, have only 3 or 4 tenants in a 10-year period, imagine you buy 5 or 10 of these cookie cutter, low cost, low down payment, nice investment homes that we just discussed. If you buy 5 or 10 over the next few years, imagine if 3 tenants per house for 10 years, if you buy 5 or 10, do the math, a total of 15 to 30 tenants.
Yeah.
If you own 10 properties in the next 10 years,
yes,
imagine the cost saving with very low maintenance because it's new construction. Imagine the saving through low vacancy as opposed to other property you buy someone buys somewhere else when the tenant is not so great, you have a lot of vacancy. When you buy older properties, you have a lot of maintenance costs. You project over time on this nice cookie cutter, new construction, high tenant, low maintenance costs. That is an add-on to your return on investment over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. It's simple, but sometimes people make it so hard.
I'm doing a lot of rational, logical thinking, but human behavior is very emotional. They're
very much. And that's a really good point. People purchase on emotion, but when it's an investment, you have to completely take all the emotion out of it. Just completely take all the emotion out of it. Look at it from a logical standpoint, the way you were suggesting, and understand it is not a short-term gain. There are a lot of long-term benefits and gains, but if you're only looking for it in the short term, you're probably going to lose out a lot of benefits, a lot of income, a lot of everything.
That's right. Look, people don't know when someone watch a real estate video, any kind of content, mainstream video, real estate wise, a lot of those mainstream media, they only talk about primary homes, owner-occupied homes, all the challenges we're facing.
Right.
Well, primary home buyer, they buy based on the monthly mortgage they can afford. But real estate investor is totally different ballgame. You buy an investment. You're not living in the house. You
Right.
are not living. You don't have an emotional attachment to the rental property you are buying. You're buying based on the numbers, based on the return potential investment. You buy
Right.
based on cap rate, capitalization rate, rent to value ratio, cash on cash return, total ROI, all the kind of numerical metrics.
Yes.
Like you said, you're buying based on emotions, then you justify with logic later.
Yes.
An investor,
Right.
you're not a primary home buyer, you're an
Right.
investor. Investor invest.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So especially newbie investors, they cannot distinguish between buying a primary home versus buying an investment property. It's such a totally different ball game. If you can't,
Exactly.
if you're unable or unwilling to make that distinction, you have to compartmentalize
Yes.
your strategy. It's a different ball game.
Very much. Very much. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I just found that going through this process because I think, especially when you're just starting out and you don't really know a lot and you're just exploring your options, you can be well, a lot of fear can kick in. I'll put it that way. Even after you've done the research, which I consider myself a researcher, I've like crossed every T and dotted every I. But still, when you're ready to pull that trigger, there's still a certain amount of fear. And I think you have to do it. Joyce Meyer has a great book called Do It Afraid. You have to just push through the emotion and just do what your logic makes sense and then just wait for the fruit to produce. Otherwise, like you'll never make a decision. And I think that's so many times why a lot of people just don't make a decision because they're all caught up in their emotions.
Absolutely. You said it right. You said it right, Julie. So anyway, that's why real estate, you and I discussed last week on our other podcast where real estate investing is lucrative because so many people can't do it, won't do it.
That's true. Won't do it. A lot of people can do it, but they won't because of fear. Fear and emotion. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Anyway, we're not psychiatrists. We're not sociologists. I'm just a real estate consulting coach. You are,
Exactly.
you are
Exactly.
a real estate investor yourself. So we educate how we can given our skill set. So anyway, with that said, thank you so much. You've been with me.
Thank you.
Modules. That's it for today. We come back next Thursday. You guys out there, you see a lot of value from this video. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also put your email on the body of my description below on my website. So you can become a free member of our real estate investment networks. Learn all the practical aspects of real estate investing. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Co-hosting with me. I'll see you guys next time.